time out is Kelsito, the spirit coach, getting your ass in shape and form for the age of Aquarius. We're going to talk about how to not be anti-Semitic. How to not be anti-Semitic. What up, Mecca? We're going to break this shit down so motherfuckers can know. So motherfuckers ain't got to lose their property. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers ain't got to lose their, you know what I'm saying, their situation, their circumstance. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers ain't got to lose they grip. You know what I'm saying? They motherfucking status and position and things of the nature. Because obviously you see these motherfuckers don't play. So if you a black person or if you a person outside of anything that's dealing with the Jews, this is what you need to know so your ass don't get the wrong context and you get caught into, limited hangout websites or sheep-minded arguments that take you into arguing for a position that you don't necessarily deserve and that you don't really know shit about because they gave you the mind in a way to even think about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're going to talk about that shit. How to not be anti-Semitic. So before we even get to the Jews, right? Before we even get to the Jews, right? We're going to talk about Jewish, and I've been talking about this in my last couple videos and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Far as the ones that I'm talking about and been spitting on within context of within context of Kanye West and shit like that, and just going from there. So first of all, you have to realize what a Jew is and things of that nature. And I told y'all in my last video that Jewish don't mean a person, or you know what I'm saying. Now, as far as how they trying to correlate it with that, we're gonna get into that. All right. So Jewish, in the first time, this is what you got to realize. Jewish is a word on its own. Jew is a word on its own, just like black is a word on its own. So it's not that it's like Jews popped up and then we figured out your skin complexion and we was like, oh, you a Jew. No, it's more so, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Now that's what they try to do as far as create race. But even a Jewish person to tell you that they're not a race of people. You know what I'm saying? They're a people, but they're not a race and shit like that. So, you know what I'm saying? When you get into Jew and Jewish and what it was used for in the old terms, as far as the Bible, this is when you get, Jewish rabbi and Jewish philosopher. So what is a Jew? Like I said, Jewish means something on its own. So a Jew is just a specific way of thought or a specific philosophy or a specific intellect, right? And let me see if I can play this video. Any Jew will tell you that it means it's tied with Judea, right? And Judea is just another word for to think, or Leo. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they correlated as the group of people that kind of more so resonated and that were used to fashion government off of Leo and Leo character. But before we even get into that, right? So look, this is what you gotta understand. So Jewish is just another word for philosopher, right? Just like black means something on its own too. So always remember that we're not calling people titles. We're giving titles and names to people. We're not calling people titles. We're giving titles and names to people. Okay, so what Jewish in Bible context and Bible term just meant philosopher. Okay, so anytime you see a Jew or whatever, you have to understand that Jew is tied to what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? AKA philosopher. Now, what is their philosophy? Now, you can get into, you can go to YouTube and type in any Jew, and they gonna tell you what does it. And when you search what does it mean, they're going to tell you that it's tied into it comes from the word Judea, and Judea comes from to think. And so, whenever you're thankful about something, you are thankful about something for a reason, right? And if you're thankful about something, you know what I'm saying, then when you're thankful about something, you're putting yourself in a space to be thankful about something, okay? And what are they usually thankful for? So they're usually thankful for their God, you know what I'm saying, their religion, you know what I'm saying, their business, their entertainment, and the way, what's good, everybody? Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying, they usually tie this into like their God, you know what I'm saying, and the way they fashion, you know what I'm saying, how to conduct character. Okay. So when we talk about how to not be anti-Semitic, you have to, first of all, understand what a Jew is, because the moment you go around screaming that you the real Jews and things of that nature, this is when, you know what I'm saying, they're going to cancel you and things of that nature because you don't know what you're talking about. You about to use their Bible and shit like that, and the terms and the words that they created based upon, you know what I'm saying, you having some sense of entitlement because they taught you were a black people and were enslaved and you got to do X, Y, Z to be at the top, but not understanding that how all this shit got created. Okay. So when we get to Jew and what a Jew is just a philosopher before it got to a race of people and shit like that. Just like we call black, but black is something on its own. Black just means dimness. Black just means darkness, or it just means internal, or it just means, you know what I'm saying, accumulation or something like that, or you know what I'm saying? It's like its own word on its own. So when we talking about Jew is a word on its own and things of that nature. So Jew, like I said, Jew just means philosophy. Jew just means intellect. Jew just means having a certain way to go about something. So now when we get into the Bible and when we get to Judea and what Judea means and things of that nature, you'll understand Judea is tied to Leo constellation. And that's why they call it the tribe of Judah. And their sign and symbol is the lion. So, you know, disregard astrology if you want to, but this is how these motherfuckers build the world. And this is why when your black ass jump up and you don't have no power, but you be yapping at the mouth and things of that nature about what they're doing, and you want them to give you liberation, not understanding what it even took to actually, you know, run a certain civilization and give certain people power in the first place. So you got to understand that, because they got what it means to be thankful for, because you wouldn't even be crying and screaming or whatever if they didn't have what it is to be thankful for. So they created money. They created the way of business. They created the way of entertainment. They created the way of education. They created the way of education and politics and religion and things of that nature. So like I said, so anytime you're thankful because you have a way to go about something. So if I was homeless and shit like that and whatever, and I didn't have nowhere to stay, right? But I learned how to build a house, right? Because whatever was on my mind made me thankful enough to build this house. And now I'm thankful, and now I can be an example to show others how to build a house. Okay, so that way of doing their way of doing life, existence in the industry, in the music industry, in the business industry, in the education industry, when you go to college and things of that nature, that's all set up by Jewish people that have intellect, Jewish people that have a certain philosophy on how to go about life. So therefore, you know what I'm saying, how to not be anti-Semitic is not not being anti-Jew. And so when you claiming that, what I'm saying, you're the real Jew, this is when they look at your ass like a dumbass because, what I'm saying, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't even look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? So they look at it as the Jews created the philosophy to be able to be thankful because they created the money. They created not the Jewish people. Don't get it twisted. Like I said, remember, Jew is a word on its own. So not the Jewish people. The Jewish people are a representation of what the Jewish philosophy of the Judea tribe means. So anytime you hop into one of their 5 pillars, which is business, government, politics, religion, education, and entertainment, and things of that nature, there's a certain code within that structure and things of that nature, and they got it all set up. The money goes back to the Catholic Church. You got to give. You got to shake certain hands. You got to push this agenda. You got to do this, that, and the third to be accepted amongst the Jews and the people and shit like that. What up, y'all? Everybody in this bitch. But yeah, so you got to be set up amongst the people and shit like that, amongst their people and shit like that to actually operate within their system and shit like that. And you got to comply because you didn't build your own language and you didn't build your own position to be thankful. So you need them in the first place. You need their language, you need their government, you need their business, you need their system. And I'm not saying that at the end of the day that's necessarily a wrong thing or anything wrong with that, because we can all utilize each other. But you have no business complaining about the situation when you and whoever you claim as your people did not set up the actual system and how it runs. And so when this is like a secret code. This is not, when y'all say y'all the real Jews and shit like that, this is like a secret code. It's not the actual people gonna get offended, obviously, because for the most part, the people are just representation because they live at the highest scale of what they have created to foster and cater to their reality as far as what they created within the system and things of that nature and shit like that. So the people are the representation of what the actual Jewish philosopher had created, and they represent that fashion. And if you're not fashioning yourself in the way that they're fashioning their self, then this is when you are the allegory of what's opposite from the Jews, and that's a Hebrew. And then so you'll experience all the negative end of not fashioning your mind because you need them to do it in the first place. Now, I hope that makes sense, and I hope I'm kind of getting to you guys because it gets deeper. But for the most part, if you're not fashioning your way in a way of, going to their schools, going to their colleges, if you're not fashioning yourself in a way of, doing entertainment in their way, pushing whoever is recommended to you in politics. If you're not fashioning your way in music and entertainment, shout out to Lala, what's good? Yeah, hell yeah. If you're not fashioning your way of them in entertainment, doing business with this person or whatever. If you're not fashioning yourself in education and learn about the solar system and how it is with them and NASA and whoever they sanction and shit like that. If you're not showing them that you're in a certain order, you know what I'm saying? And so this is when they get on your ass, and either you're going to do it without them and AKA create your own, not even create your own, but add on to in a correct way. You know what I'm saying? By actually having some knowledge and knowing that knowledge is power, and doing it that way and coming with your own intellect and making it make sense. But if you're showing them that you're a person that's just a radical and things of that nature, but you don't have no real knowledge, and you're saying you're the real Jew, but you didn't even create business, entertainment, and you're a part of their shit, then this is when they label you an anti-Semite, because especially when you start to use the Bible. because Jewish in the Bible, it don't mean a person. It means a philosophy, a way to go about life, a way to think, a way to see some shit like that, right? And they created the system that upholds that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when you go into whenever you become a celebrity or influence and shit like that, of course you have to, you know what I'm saying, you're at a certain level of influence. So you can't walk around talking about you the real Jews and shit like that. And whatever they gave y'all as jailman knowledge to point out to y'all who y'all is as sheep and things of that nature. So it's like building your own empire or pyramid. Yeah, it is. But how they did that is based on the knowledge of the mind and things of that nature. And this is when we get into the Bible and things of that nature, and then like how they created it off astrology and shit. So everybody know that the sun in the Bible don't represent the actual sun. It just represent your solar plexus and things of that nature. And you being able to, anytime you have a thought that brings you down and shit like that, or that comes down and you depressed about that, anytime you can come up with a creative way or a way to see yourself. This is your sun rising out of your sun rising and shit like that. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's an allegory of how to, you know what I'm saying, read the Bible. The Bible is like, it's not in the aspect of what y'all may think it as like a history book. You know what I'm saying? The Jews wrote it in Jewish literature, and it's based on hieroglyphics. And based on it being on hieroglyphics, the terms and the words are pointing to certain aspects of the mind and shit like that. So when they say men and women in the Bible, they're talking about thoughts and feelings. So man represents thoughts and shit, and feelings represent. And when these two come together, based upon you having a way to think, and then you feeling a certain way about that leads your mind into a specific area for you to take a specific action. And once you take that specific action, they got a whole Bible script about where that leads. And they got titles and names and all type of shit for that shit. So how to not be anti-Semitic is, first of all, you have to understand what a Jew is. What a Jew is. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to understand, what the fuck a Jew is. And Jewish just means philosopher, or it just ties back to the tribe of Judea, which ties back to the tribe of Leo and things of that nature. That's why they rock the fucking lion with the crown and shit like that. And so anytime you're fashioned under the government of how they built the system and the astrology and the clock of Leo and things of that nature, this is when, you know what I'm saying, you understand that Leos get attention. And so when you're the center of attention, you're an influencer. And when you're an influencer, you have a certain way to go about things, and you're an example and things of that nature. You can be seen as an example, and you can be seen as someone that actually knows the way. And so the Jewish mind, which means mind or intellect, they fashioned that character for you to act in that way. You get what I'm saying? They gave you the character of the celebrity to act in that way. And so now you are that. And that's why the Jews, they are the top of that. You get what I'm saying? So it's like they're the example of that. Now, they want you to follow them. And the moment that you don't follow them, because like Kanye said, they keep their wives because they're civilized based on whatever religion and whatever they you know what I'm saying, and shit like that they got going on and things of that nature. Once you fashion yourself amongst them and things of that nature, this is when you can find your place in their society and you can receive the benefits of the government that they built, which is, you know what I'm saying, religion, education, politics, and that. Now, I mean, he said calling Jews they. Jews, what do you mean? They are a people. Like, I don't get what you're saying. Like, they are a people. They'll tell you that they are people. So I don't think it's anything. I'm not like, you just kind of nitpicking at this point. But yeah, but for the most part, Jewish, before it became a race of people and things of that nature, it just meant philosopher and things of that nature. And their philosophy was whatever was based upon, the religion and how to live the way of life attached to God and things of that nature, and based upon how they wrote the Bible and things of that nature, and the names and titles and what that meant, and how they fashioned, the scriptures and shit like that. This is when you get to reading the Bible the correct way. Now, the moment you take the Bible and interpret it in your own way and shit like that, and it has no correlation to what they presented, as a motherfucking knowledge and shit like that. The moment you take that and make that your own and give it your own interpretation, this is when they look at that as negative and shit like that. Like, I'm talking about the real Jews, like the real Jews, like, and shit like that. And I dare anybody to put me in a room with one, because for the most part, at the end of the day, we still gonna be talking about the same thing. Like I said, you can go to fucking Google and shit like that and understand the sign. If you don't understand signs and symbols and shit like that, you won't understand like the way that they Kyrie and the Jews, anytime you call yourself the real Jew and not know the actual aspect of it, they're going to label you anti-Semitic. That's what I said. Anytime you call yourself a Jew, which you can. Like I said, I did a video called Kanye, Jews Can't Be Black. And I do believe that, because for the most part, we got Drake. Drake is half black. He's a Jew. And then for the most part, if we go to the actual term of it, which just meant a philosopher, and they created the philosophy on how to live life based upon them playing in the Leo constellation, and you being able to be an influencer and have a certain attention and to be thankful and show others, hey, if you want to be like us and you want to be thankful, you want to ride our Beamers and be in our government and shit like that, then this is what you have to do to get from point A to point B. Now, is that correct? Look, they doing something right. So for the most part, everybody is an example. But for the most part, how your black ass cannot be labeled an anti-Semitic is to not call yourself the Jew, like you the real Jews and you here to save your people, when that's not what you're here to do. You know what I'm saying? You're not here. They was dealing with the mind first. They was dealing with the mind first. So they was dealing with the mind first. So, you know what I'm saying? That's how you do that shit. And just don't call yourself a fucking real Jew without the proper context and things like that nature. And there's people like that break this shit down better than me and shit like that. But it's very simple. It's very simple. It's very fucking simple. It's very fucking simple. It's very fucking simple. Okay? So a Jew, like I said, Jew is correlated based upon the fashion of government of what to be thankful for. When you're thankful for when your ass got a house. You're thankful for when you're secure. You're thankful when you got stability. You're thankful when you got shelter. When you don't, you're in the Hebrew. Like, that's what I'm saying. These is not people on the first thing. Like I said, just like black is not a people, it's a word. Then we give words to people. So just like your ass got a house, just like your ass got, a job, just like your ass got, that. Okay, so you're thankful in that aspect. Now, when you don't have this is when you enter the land of the Hebrews. And that land would be a little bit more chaotic because it isn't fashioned in the same way as the fucking in the Bible. Now go get the Bible and now go read the Jews in an aspect. Go read about the Jews in an aspect in a way that I'm telling you, and then go read about the Hebrews, and you'll understand that these are certain states of mind that they're talking about. The state of mind is the Jewish way to be thankful, you know what I'm saying? And fashion yourself into be a character, or be to organize, or be to seen, or be seen. This is Leo. So when we talk about Leo and the Leo constellation in general, everything was created off the stars. So when we talk about Leo, Leo is the summertime. It's the middle of summertime and things of that nature. So it represents action, it represents character, it represents character development, and it represents a way to go about something, and your own way to go about something. And so when we have a celebrity, they're presenting, they're the main character of that stage and shit like that. It's because they rule so many people. And so anytime a celebrity that is thankful to and have a way to be thankful and to go about something, anytime they hop into the negative end and say, no, we the real Jews, this is like them practicing like a certain witchcraft on themselves that they not even aware of. So the shit get deep, you know what I'm saying? So how to not be anti-Semitic is just don't be talking about shit that you don't fucking know about. You ain't the real Jew if you don't know what the fuck you talking about. You coming in there talking about we the real Jew, we black people the real Jews. Get the fuck out of here. They wasn't even talking about race. Y'all dumb. They weren't even talking about race. They talking about a specific practice. It's like a practice. It's like a, you know what I'm saying? Like that's, like I said, Jews will tell you they're not a race of people. It's like a practice, you know what I'm saying? And anytime you practice these their methods, you know what I'm saying? You good, you know what I'm saying? You can you know what I'm saying? You'll be within their system and within the graces of, you know what I'm saying, working and doing business and things of that nature and hushing your fucking mouth. Now, anytime you don't want to practice that, you need to either go get your own shit and things of that nature. Learn who wrote the Bible, how they created the Bible, how they manifested and things of that nature as a people, how they overcame their desires, and then get amongst your people and do that amongst your people, and don't beg them for their help, or don't make them feel like they're the victim of why you're in the situation that you're in. You get what I'm saying? It's just you get the fuck off your ass and go create business and go rule entertainment and shit like that, and you do that in your own fashion and shit like that, and then y'all can work together on that note, you know what I'm saying? But the more you sit around and get put on by their structure, they gave you the language, they gave you, you know what I'm saying, the you know what I'm saying, they gave you the language, the Bible and the religion and shit like that and all that shit, and then you go in there and then try to remix it, and you go in and try to remix it and then expect them to give you something. This is when you're doing it the wrong way. So they're going to label you anti-Semite because, you know what I'm saying, you don't, you know, then you try to say you fighting for black people and things of that nature. Get the fuck out of here. We ain't taking that. We ain't believing in that. We don't believe you. You know what I'm saying? You been fucking white women and shit like that. You ain't Dr. Umar. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, so stop attacking the people. You know what I'm saying? The people is not the issue, y'all own. You know what I'm saying? The people is not the issue. The issue is what the fucking, the origin of the word and what it means. And the people that are the intellectual property of this word, which is always doors behind doors. So, you know, you got the Jews that know and the Jews that behind the Jews that know and shit like that. And you know, you say you got different levels and shit like that. But, you know what I'm saying? You know, this is, you close your fucking mouth. Now, if you want to learn what they did, that's another topic. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother topic. You feel me? Learn what they did. So, you know what I'm saying? As far as like, you know, correlating mind states and taking over and shit like that, that's like in the Bible and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so Jewish just means philosophy. So I don't want none of y'all being anti-Semitic and shit like that. Y'all get into a certain space and then finding out some knowledge and things of that nature because you may be feeling like you're not in the graces of getting crumbs, but you ain't running that shit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't in them chairs. You ain't even the head of this shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's either your ass need to learn how to add on the right way, or sit your ass the fuck down and fucking do some self-realization and come different. You know what I'm saying? Stop blaming motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Stop blaming motherfuckers for your shortcomings and shit like that. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so you know that's what it is. That's what it is. So just how to not. This is how you can not be anti-Semitic in the right way. You know what I'm saying? You gotta actually know what this shit mean and shit like that. And like I said, I got videos. I got a video before this. It's called I think it's my message to Kanye and shit like that. And then I got another one and shit. Do you know about the geographical witchcraft in Canada? No, I ain't heard about that. Yeah. So even like Egypt and like, you know what I'm saying? Like these came after the fact. Like the titles and shit came after the fact. You know what I'm saying? We was calling these things like mind states. Like it's in the Bible, and the Bible is telling you, like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Y'all got to understand Jewish literature, though. Like, that's the first thing. Understand Jewish literature. Go to Dolo the Pilot Man. Watch his shit. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so that's what I just kind of wanted y'all to know. Like, it's not about Kanye being necessarily, he's just ignorant. You know what I'm saying? He's ignorant, and not in the ignorance of, not necessarily like, I don't think it may not be purposeful, but it's uneducated. But the thing is like, when you're uneducated in a specific area, you know, a specific area can lead you to losing your fortune overnight, or, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be educated in more areas, you know what I'm saying? Not just whatever you're lost in or whatever they created for you to get lost in. You know what I'm saying? Like status and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? There's different levels to shit. You know? But what's up with the Canadian witchcraft? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. You know. But yeah, so, you know, that's how you be anti-Semitic. I mean, that's how you don't be anti-Semitic. You got to know what the fuck a Jew is. You know what I'm saying? A Jew is not a fucking. At the beginning of it, get to the word. If you want to know what a Jew is, get to the word. We try to find out what the origins is and what it's tied to. I have there's a video you can go call. It's at What is a Jew on YouTube, and the guy is going to tell you that it is tied to the word Judea, and which means to thank. And once you are thankful about something, that is a certain mind state. And because you are thankful about something, that is a certain category or a certain people that practice a certain method to be thankful. Because niggas not just walking around in life just thankful just to be happy-go-lucky. No, you're thankful because what? You have money. You're thankful because you have business. You're thankful because you have education. You're thankful because you are in a certain position. You know what I'm saying? And the people that philosophize that and to be thankful are the Jews. And based upon them having dealings and things of that nature within the government sanction and shit like that, and you being a part of that sanction, you know what I'm saying, as far as participating in it, when you got to get up and shit like that, and you go to work for your little $400 check and shit like that, And once you get that check back, you're thankful. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have to be looked at as stupid. Like, because you didn't create business, you didn't create infrastructure, you didn't create language, you didn't create education, you didn't create politics and things of that nature. So therefore, until your ass do that, you know what I'm saying, until your ass come up with your own industry, until your ass use YouTube and be your own school or be your own way to civilize and conduct, not just amongst black people, because we see that black people a black person, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. You know what I'm saying? We see it with black people every day. So it ain't about you saving a race of people. That was made up for sheep-minded, so y'all can jump into that space and use that so they can see who is actually woke or not, or aware of that or not. And y'all showing them that y'all not aware. So once y'all show them y'all not aware, this is when they can use you as example as what they constructed as the Jewish and the Hebrew narrative. You're showing them that you're anti-Semite because you're playing into the narrative that they created amongst what having the Jews order. And once you don't have the Jews order, but you're complaining about the order, this is when you are labeled a Hebrew and things of that nature. But you're thinking about it as somebody that a race of people that took over your land and shit like that. But at the same time, those people stole some shit from you and things of that nature. And no, that is very wrong. They did not steal anything. They created it. You know what I'm saying? And they created the concept of how to look at it too. So they can point out anytime somebody is being opposite to what they created. And you're crying for liberation within something that they created. But they look at you like a sheep mind because they like, nigga, go and create your own shit. You know what I'm saying? And that way, you know what I'm saying? It's deep. 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 So y'all motherfuckers need to catch on and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody that I know being labeled anti-Semite anything. So y'all not the real shit. Y'all ain't shit. Because if y'all was shit, y'all would be locked in and linked in to some type of power today and shit like that. So all that shit that about the Egypts and shit like that and people and y'all people in rulership and shit like that, that's just was made to make y'all feel good for the moment. You know what I'm saying? For y'all to feel good so y'all can keep busy with that and still complain. But that is the Hebrew context, because now you're looking at it as, oh, I'm cursed. My people is cursed. And no, they gave you that. They gave you that. They gave you that. So, this was like freestyle. This is like off the Richter type of shit, you know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to come through with this message so you motherfuckers can kind of get the right context of this shit so I don't be, you know what I'm saying? But, we're going to talk about this more and we're going to build on this more and things of that nature. And we're going to be in person more for real. But yeah. And so that's all you need to know. Just don't go around claiming shit that you're not without the proper context. All right? And, so always remember, Jewish just means philosopher. And a Jewish philosopher is going to create a philosophy. And what is a philosophy? A philosophy is a way to think. And once you have a way to think, that is an idea by nature. So you have an idea to go about something. And once you have that idea to go about something, you know what I'm saying, you can teach others or be an example of how these, people should go about something. You know what I'm saying? Now, based upon you having an intellect and things of that nature or not, you know what I'm saying, matters none, but they do. You know what I'm saying? Now, once you have your own intellect, you can have a way to go about something. You know what I'm saying? And so it's all allegory to certain certain states and things of that nature, and they just kept track of. They just kept track of them through the Bible and shit like that, and through writing and hieroglyphics and shit like that. But yeah, so that was it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So shout out to everybody that had joined and popped through and shit like that. This is how not to be anti-Semitic. Don't go around calling yourself the real Hebrews and shit like that. That's cap, y'all. Not the real shit. You know what I'm saying? Hebrew don't even mean a race of people. Jews don't even mean a race of people at first. Is the word first. You know what I'm saying? The word itself means something on its own. Then we get the people that represent the word and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. All right. Get y'all ass to the game.